is spoken about only in whispers. A dark area that spawns the beginnings of urban legends. A place where anything can happen and usually does. During the light of day, it hides just outside of view. But when the sun goes down, spirits, creatures of the night, roam free, and things do go bump in the night. It is in every state and every country, and there is no escaping it, no matter how safe you feel behind your locked doors and latched windows. So we invite you to turn down the lights and turn up your radio while we join Dave Schrader and Tim Dennis, your hosts, on a journey into the darkness on the edge of town.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. Sunday night edition. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. Sitting across the board from me, Tim Dennis. Good evening, Mr. Dennis.
Good evening, Mr. Schrader.
Wow, and another eventful weekend over. We were at the Crypticon Horror Convention all weekend, hanging out with a bunch of cool, different horror movie celebrities, and had a good time. A lot of really nice people.
Yeah.
A lot of really nice people out there.
For a bunch of freaks. Yeah, they were great.
Exactly.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
All right, real quick, let me get this over with. We've been taking names all weekend, and we're going to do a quick drawing to give away. I had the statue that was donated to us from Sideshow Inc.
Yes.
We had the Jason and Freddy statues, so I'm going to reach into my magic bucket of...
KFC?
I wish. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
That'd be my crack chicken bucket of KFC.
Yes, it would.
I had to remove the one because my son wrote a card today.
Aw,
stuck it in there.
He wins.
Linus, David, and then he put it right in there. So,
all right, he wins. Good.
Does he?
We're good.
I don't think that's fair.
Which one should we give
Although,
him?
should I give him the 4-foot-tall Jason statue with the machete?
You know what you
Nothing
should
like
give him?
freaking
Let's
him
give him the consolation prize, the third prize we didn't mention at Crypticon.
Yes.
And that is you get your daddy's cold, Linus. Congratulations.
Yes, hey, congratulations, son. You're the winner.
It's all yours.
All right, for the Jason statue, we have our first winner. It is Bert Hollish. So, Bert, I've got your email here. Hopefully this is legible enough for me to be able to email you through. But, Bert, you've won the Jason Voorhees statue. We'll get that out to you. Let me see what else we got going over here. Ooh, this one.
Ooh.
The Invisible Man using invisible ink on this card.
Nice.
All right, let's
Very
try.
good.
Go back into the bottom of this.
I thought you were going to pull a Karnak there, put it to your head, and give me 3 answers.
Yes. Let's see. Playmate Centerfold 1984, Lita Ford, and Kelly Maroney. The question is, 3 women I will never have in bed.
Yes, sir.
Dude.
What?
What are the chances?
Another blank one?
Another blank one.
Evidently, people at Crypticon don't know how to write. They're
Either
like,
that or it was ghost-like activity. All right, here we go.
I was going to sign up for this, but I don't know how to write.
This is a good one. All right, we have Angie Duvall is the winner.
Very
Angie
nice.
Duvall. Yes, Angie will be emailing you and getting you the information as well.
Congrats.
We'll have to have you stop by and pick up these statues because they're ginormous, and my boss will kill me if we have to pay the shipping. So come on in. Thanks again to Bert Hollish and Angie Duvall. We appreciate you guys being a part of the drawing with us this weekend. All right. Had a lot of fun. Dude, how'd you like that I score big with the Crypt Keeper or what?
Yeah, you did.
He gave us some cool liners for the show.
He hugged you longingly, and
he did.
That's scoring with the Crypt Keeper, right?
Looking, deeply into my eye sockets. He was creepy.
Yeah, but he told you were pretty. That was creepy alone.
Hey, how about those Minnesota Roller Girls, the North Star Roller Girls?
Oh, I know.
I want to go out and see them. Unfortunately, they're on against our show, so don't go, folks. Just listen to our radio show.
Dave had this whole rap about how they should change their games to Friday nights. And really, it was a good deal. I was all with it. I figured, hey, easy for us, easy for them.
Yeah, because there's nothing better than, or more paranormal than hot chicks beating each other up on roller skates.
Exactly.
Is that wrong? Is that sexist?
No.
If that's sexist, I don't want to be right.
Well, don't be right then.
All right,
I won't be right either. But here's the deal. We said, okay, switch it to Friday. And they said, but you'll be the only 2 who will be there.
And we said no.
No.
We said we would bring the legion of Darkness Radio listeners.
That's right.
Or as the Crypt Keeper kept calling them, our watchers.
Our watchers, yes.
When he'd cut our lines. Make sure to watch Darkness Radio. What planet are you living on, John Kassir? What old-time radio? You just stand there and look at the old set? I don't know. All right, well, let's get to it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for book reviews.
It's time to welcome our book critic and cunning linguist of culture, refinement, and stories that will make your skin crawl. Live from the tower we keep her locked in, Susan Cummins.
Good evening, lovely Susan.
Good evening. I'll never get tired of that.
Have you? Did you dodge this cold that was going around the Stanley?
Ha! I did.
You miserable, no good. You know, I'm usually the guy. I dose up on so many vitamins to make sure I don't have this happen, and then I walked away sneezing and crying. So
just goes to show you, his iCam is only made out of candy.
Oof, yes. All right, so what book do we have for us this week?
Okay, well, you know, it takes a lot to scare me.
All right.
And this is a book that had some bite to it. I didn't expect it to, but it gave me the creeps.
All right.
Okay, so we had him as a guest over Halloween weekend, Stephen LaChance.
Yes.
The Uninvited. A true story of the Union Screaming House. Have you read it?
I haven't. I got the book and gave you the copy because I wanted you to read it right away.
I have it. Oh, my goodness. You know what? It gave me the creeps in so many ways. Oh, my God. It had demonic clowns, dead babies hanging from trees, talking dolls that told little girls to kill their babies. I mean, it's freaky. If this stuff is all true, which I'm assuming it is, I'm not going near this house.
So this is The Uninvited by Stephen LaChance.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he didn't, he made it sound scary, but he didn't make it sound that crazy. I mean, it was,
Oh, no, crazy.
Really?
Crazy, crazy stuff. We're not just talking things that go bump in the night. We're talking the sound of little kids laughing and giggling, and all of a sudden this horrible scream coming in through the window. I mean, crazy stuff. I really do. From reading the other book that I reviewed a few weeks ago, I would say demons. Seriously.
Well, but according
crazy.
to, according to the Father, everything is demons.
I know. So, according to the Father, everything is demons.
So now give us, for people that didn't listen to the live Halloween, or listen to the show we did around Halloween with Stephen, go ahead and fill people in, kind of give Stephen's backstory with us now.
Okay, well, Stephen moved his children into this house because he wanted something that he could afford. And by the way, he was talking about it looking like his grandmother's house.
Right.
This was a kit house. Do you know they used to have kit houses made by Sears?
A kit house made by Sears?
It was a kit house made by Sears.
Did you snapped it together like Barbie's dream house, or what?
I don't know what that meant, but I thought that was fascinating.
Very cool.
So he moved his family in, and of course, almost immediately things started to happen that was pretty crazy. And he told us one incident where he was, the doors were rattling, and then all of a sudden they all closed. His daughter was screaming. He was trying to get through the door to get to his daughter and couldn't. Pack the kids up, and that was basically probably the last night that he stayed there. However,
see, now that's the most frightening stuff to me, when it's your kids involved and there's nothing you can do to help them.
Oh, I can't even imagine. However, the dreams continued. This man was plagued, and we're not talking just, things that go bump in the night, shadows. We're talking creepy, creepy dreams. And a lot of things were affected. I mean, everyone that came in contact with this house became affected by it. But what I don't understand is how somebody could rent something out like this. Where are the laws? And I'm going to research every piece of land I ever live on.
No doubt.
I'm going to research everything.
I think that's what we should do, Susan. That should be our side business, because isn't there like Carfax, which you can go to them and you pay like $15 and you type in the serial number of your car and you can find out if it was ever water damaged or somebody farted in it too many times, or you can get every kind of detail. Maybe we should have ghostly facts so people can check out their property, and we'll do all the research to see if it was at one time an ancient Indian burial ground, or even creepier, it might have been like an old International House of Pancakes. So.
Oh, the land, the whole land. I mean, even, because he talked about everybody not wanting to walk around his house, but do you know that the house across the street had a murder? I mean, where the man shot his whole family. The whole property used to be owned by a Captain John Cromwell, who was just...
Well, with a name like John Cromwell, you have to be a captain, because...
You got to be a captain.
It sounds good.
he lined up over 400 soldiers and killed them all on the property. And then there was retribution. I can't even talk tonight. And he slaves and voodoo, and some say he sold a soul to the devil. And, I would have to agree according to everything that happens on this land. Creepy, but demonic, clowns. I mean, how many of us saw It?
Yeah, I read the book, It, and the movie, though, was a serious disappointment because it was such a good movie up until the last, 5 minutes, and then it's a big glowing spider that they literally just kick it to death, and then that was disappointing to me. We could have gotten by with it an extra big can of Raid, and we'd have been fine with it. But yeah, that creepy clown Pennyworth, right? Or Pennywise? What is it? Penny something.
Pennywise, wasn't it Pennywise? But even in this book, I mean, this clown theme kept coming up, but this poor woman who was a sensitive who came in to try to help, her daughter was pregnant. They were all very, very excited about it. But then she had a horrible dream about this demon clown laughing and holding a baby at his feet and slamming the baby on the ground over and over again, and the next day the baby died in the womb.
So how frightening is this? I've been all weekend sitting at this horror convention, and there was this creepy clown doll, and I just kept feeling the urge to buy it. And I almost brought it home, but I didn't.
I'm glad you didn't, because then I'd say, read.
Yeah, no doubt.
You'll throw that doll out. Yeah. And what's up with a dead baby hanging from a tree? I'm telling you, this is a creepy.
I don't know. Everybody knows you don't do that after Labor Day.
It's my favorite Christmas decoration.
Oh, that's so sick.
Babies hanging from trees after Labor Day.
That's right. It's a fashion faux pas.
But this man was a saint. He actually went back to try to help this woman named Helen, and he became good friends with her and is still friends to this day. And
well, you say saint, and I say just a regular guy, because I've seen Helen, and she's hot. I think that's why he went back.
I have no idea. There were no pictures of Helen in the book. But, and of course our buddy John Zaffis was there to help and lend support. Yay, John! Creep Factor, this is a good book. I really did enjoy it.
And this is a true story, too. This isn't just a work of fiction.
Folks. No, I mean, this is one to where I left my TV set on after I finished it.
Very cool. Okay, so you're definitely, out of five ghosts. One being bad, five being great. Yep.
I would say five. It was a creepy. Folks, if you want to read a book, a true story, and if you think ghost hunting is cool, you might reconsider after you read this book. You'll probably think twice when you hear things boom or doors open or shut. This is a creepy book.
Again, this is by Stephen LaChance. The book is called The Uninvited, correct?
The Uninvited, and you can buy it anywhere. It is currently at Barnes & Noble. Very, very good book.
All right. Yeah. Well, Susan, thanks. We'll have you back again next week. We got to get cutting out here for a commercial break and come back with national news correspondent Bree. Thanks a lot, Susan. We'll talk to you again.
Hey, adios.
Take care. Hey, guys, also remember to check out Darkness Events page, darknessevents.com. I'm going to be out there next week at Ocala, Florida at the Seven Sisters Inn, along with Patrick Burns from Haunting Evidence, Kristen Gartland from Ghost Hunters, Rob Demers from Ghost Hunters International. We're going to be out there investigating, having a great time doing some talks. If you want information on this event or tickets, go to sevensistershaunt.com. Spell it out, sevensistershaunt.com. We'll be back with more national news correspondent Bree Sanders right after this. Good evening. Welcome back to Darkness Radio, your home for paranormal talk radio every Saturday and Sunday night, 9 to midnight. I'm your host, Dave Schrader, along with me, co-host and producer Tim Dennis. Hey, join us in the live chat room. Go to darknessradio.com. Click on live chat and you can join us. It's cheap, it's easy, and it's fun.
Just like my prom dates.
Ah, good God. I knew it was coming. So check it out. Join us in the live chat room. There's a lot of other great people in there. You can chat about things that you're interested in with people that are of the same like mind, which is even more frightening, don't you think?
Yeah.
And I mean that with all the sweetness in my heart, folks. Everybody that's in the room, don't beat me up. Hey, we got something cool coming up later on in the show. Jeff Belanger is going to be with us in hour 2 starting at 10 p.m. and he's going to be talking to us about his book With the Ghosts of the White House, which is amazing. And then in hour 3, Tim, we've got Ryan Buell from Paranormal State is going to stop in. We've got Chip Coffey and Michelle Belanger.
Ooh.
There's been this big rift, this big deal that was going on. This, according to certain sources and a few other radio shows, they've reported the fact that during the filming of a Paranormal State episode, there was a huge blowout between Chip Coffey, the psychic medium, and Michelle Belanger, the author and medium, and they had this big clash. And tonight we're bringing both together under one roof. Budweiser, the king of beers, along with Caesar's Palace, is proud to present Coffee versus Bellinger.
Let's get ready to rumble.
That's right. So we got that coming up. But right now, as we're apt to do, it's time to head down to Missouri for national news.
Now it's time for all the news that's in the news from the world of the paranormal with the supernatural stories of the strange. National news correspondent and mistress of misery, Bree Sanders.
Good special effects going there, Tim.
Well, the teletype kept breaking down. And,
Apparently. Hey, good evening, Bree. How are you?
Hi, guys. I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. Now, you were out at the Stanley with us.
I was.
Doing a little ghost hunting. Did you have any kind of paranormal activity? Anything weird happen?
I don't think so this trip. I haven't, but I still haven't really listened to my recorders and stuff.
I know, you still haven't listened to the recorders from 3 years ago on the first trip you went on with us.
I have so much stuff on there I'm listening to, because I'll just let mine run. I don't really do little sessions. I just let them run the whole time.
Mm-hmm. And how's that working for you?
Still listening to stuff. Yes. I think when we went to the Queen Mary 2 years ago.
Yes.
Anyway.
All right, so where are we off to tonight?
Oh, I have some strange news this week.
No, not you. Strange news? Good Lord, when did this start up?
We'll start with something just kind of fun and cute.
Okay.
There's a parrot named Willy, and he was credited with saving the life of a 2-year-old this week who was choking on a Pop-Tart. This happened in Denver, Colorado. The babysitter, I guess, was in the restroom when she heard the parrot start screaming, and he started screaming, "Mama, baby," over and over again until she came out of the bathroom, and the babysitter performed the Heimlich maneuver on the child, and she lived. But the babysitter says that if the parrot had not done what he did, she wouldn't have come out of the bathroom on time, because I guess when she came out to see what was going on, the child was already blue.
Oh, my.
So that's kind of cool. I just wanted to throw that in.
That is.
Interesting.
That's one of my favorite stories. I remember seeing it was on, like, Animal Rescue or Rescue 911, so one of those shows way back when. And it was a woman had suffered a stroke in her bed. Mm-hmm. And couldn't move. She was basically paralyzed. Her dog knew this, figured it out. He went and took a dish rag, dropped it in his bowl of water, and would bring it to her and push it to her mouth so she could drink water. Mm-hmm. And then he would bring her, grossly enough, he'd bring her a mouthful of dog food to chew on. Oh, so he kept her nourished for 3 days until somebody showed up to the house to check on him. And then he went ballistic till they came in and checked on the lady and found her that way. But, boy, those pet stories are crazy. So I was yelling, "Baby mama"?
Baby mama.
That's
or
great.
Mama baby.
Mama. My baby's mama. Help me.
I was going to say, Rob, baby mama wants support. Gotta run.
All right. Well, where are we off to next?
One more quick kind of strange story. A northern Alabama man is alive after being run over by a train on Thursday afternoon. Huntsville Fire and Rescue...
Wait, let me guess, because the parents started crying out, "Watch out! Move! Train!" He got out of he's safe? Is that what happened? No?
Not quite.
Oh,
no.
Damn it.
Anyway, the train engineer actually spotted this guy. He's 61 years old, and he was laying across the railroad ties. And the conductor, pulled the horn and tried to stop the train.
Pardon me? He pulled his horn right there?
Right there.
That's unbelievable. Did they find out that the guy really wasn't trying to kill himself? He just had a pocket full of pennies, and he wanted to see if the train would run over him and smooth him out?
In front of everybody.
Exactly.
They have no idea. They still don't know why he was laying on the tracks, but... It's crazy, because by the time the train was stopped, I guess 8 rail cars had passed over him. And I guess they get him to the hospital, and he only had minor injuries. So,
what is this guy, the Bionic Man?
No,
he's a new character on the show Heroes? What's your superpower? Well, really, I can't do anything, but I can survive being hit by a train repeatedly.
8 train cars over me. So that's crazy.
Wow, that is nuts.
Real quickly, there was another UFO sighting near Stephenville, Texas, that was reported. I think it actually happened about a week and a half ago, but for some reason I just saw this. But it was during a junior varsity football game. Players and spectators saw this large object in the sky above the stadium, and they said it was too dark to actually see what it was, but it had 2 rows of orange lights, which is kind of like what everybody's been describing down there. And it was a stationary disc-shaped object. And they said that it also was spinning like a Frisbee. So
really?
It hovered for 8 seconds or so and then disappeared, but a lot of people saw it.
That's
so
crazy.
Interesting. That place is crazy.
You know, I'm wondering now, with the advent of all these new toys that are out there, they have all those. Have you seen those, Tim? Like, it looks like a big aluminum foil balloon that's remote controlled. Have you seen those?
That's not the Jiffy Pop and pop it up at night?
Exactly. No. But they do have that. I'm wondering if somebody's just playing a trick on people, because it always seems to be at night in a place where large groups of people can see it, but there's no way to identify it at the time. Because they've got those, it's not called a hovercraft. Maybe if there's any listeners out there and you know what I'm talking about, give me a call, 651-989-5855. But it looks like the top of the Jiffy Pop popcorn. It's one of those rounded dome aluminum foil deals with running lights on them, and they actually work with these strange little fans. But you can fly it by remote control. So I'm wondering if we're just going to end up finding out this is some kind of hoax or not. Because by now you got to guess that the government's checking out Stephenville, Texas, don't you think?
I would think so. But
weird. Hey, let me make a quick mention of a story that was just in today's Star Tribune. Amy Poehler. And I hope I'm not stepping on one of your stories here, but if I am, screw you, Bree. It's my show. I'm doing it anyway. It's called, the name of the story is Girls Going Mobile. Amy Poehler has left the cast of Saturday Night Live, but you can still see her latest venture on a cell phone, an iPod, or even a crusty old TV. The digital series Smart Girls at the Party is aimed at tween girls. It's downloadable on onetworks.com. Spell it ONNETWORKS.com. I guess that's onnetworks.com. Each 5 to 10 minute episode features a conversation between Poehler and a different girl. One of them is a 10-year-old paranormal fiction writer, and then it goes all the way up to a yoga expert as well. They're changing the world by being themselves, says Poehler, who just gave birth to a girl herself. The series was recorded in HD, so it's just as watchable on a 3-inch screen as it is on a 46-incher. And episodes can be viewed or downloaded for free at www.smartgirlsattheparty.com and through syndication partners including iTunes, Adobe Media Player, and other digital and mobile service providers. But I thought that was kind of a cool story that one of the people she interviews is a little girl who's writing paranormal fiction.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Good deal. All right, where are we off to next? Well, you know, actually, with that, we have to take a break. Tim's signaling me. Let's take a break here. I didn't mean to step on you there, Bree. All right, good deal. We'll be back with more. You're listening to the best in paranormal talk radio. Good evening. Welcome back to the Darkness on the Edge of Town Paranormal Radio Show. I'm your host, Dave Schrader. Hey, Tuesday night, come on out and join Tim and I. We're going to go see a special sneak peek of the brand new horror. Well, you can't even call it horror. It's kind of a love story vampire deal. It's Twilight is coming out finally Tuesday for the sneak peek. It'll be out next Friday nationwide.
Yeah.
If you're interested in joining us and you have not won anything from us in the last 30 days, we're going to take the first 10 callers to join us right now. You can do it by calling. Come out with us. It'll start at 6:30 is all the cool Twilight festivities at the movie theater. When you call in, the lovely Ben or Captain Andy Candy Pants will take your call, and they'll give you more information on where the movie screening is going to be. And we will see you there Tuesday night. Again, give us a call if you're interested in seeing Twilight this Tuesday. We're going to go back to the phones now with national news correspondent Bree Sanders. Bree, where are we off to next?
We're going to San Francisco. And this is, again, something we've been reporting consistently. There have been a string of reports of Black Panther sightings in Bay Area Park in San Francisco. Several hikers have reported this, and the only conclusion that scientists have come up with is that, you know, obviously it's mistaken identity, like if it's some kind of a fox or coyote or just a really big house cat, I guess.
Right.
Or else, I guess they're thinking there could be black mountain lions out there, which, you know, could very closely resemble a black panther. But this is an area where mountain lions actually do exist, and for some reason, sightings have become a lot more frequent than they have in over 100 years. So it's just weird that that's kind of going on everywhere, you know?
Well, I mean, the black vote was important for Obama's win. I guess the Black Panthers and Black Lions should come out for that as well. It's only fair. That is crazy. Yeah, there's been, even over in Europe, I think Adrian's been reporting on a few black cat, giant cat-like sightings that are popping up as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lauren Coleman, I think he refers to them as phantom panthers.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Yeah, he was. We talked to him out at the Stanley last week. We're going to actually have him out at the Queen Mary with us doing more talks on cryptozoology. He's a great speaker. People loved him.
Oh, cool.
Interesting stuff. All right, where are we off to next?
Actually, speaking of black cats, and I know this has to do probably with what you'll be talking about later with the White House ghosts. I saw a little article I thought was fun that's about the black cat. It's called DC. It stands for Demon Cat. And people are just talking about it now with the recent election and the switch of the presidency that's about to take place.
Right.
And I don't know if anybody knows about this, but this little cat, I guess people see it. It appears just before national disasters, like it appeared right before the market crash of 1929, and it appeared again right before the assassination of JFK. And it's frequently seen, I guess, when the presidency's moving to a new person. So I thought that was kind of fun.
I wonder if he's related to the Mothman. Maybe it's the Mothman's cat.
The Mothman's, well...
Because he always, bad things happen when he shows up too, right?
Right, that's true. Actually, yeah. And I guess when you see it, it looks like a little kitten. But as you get closer, it grows into this, like, angry tiger-like cat with red glowing eyes. And tons of, I guess, like, retired employees, they have lots of stories about it. But while they're employed, they're all too scared to talk about seeing it because they're afraid that people think they're crazy and they'll lose their, their job or whatever. But anyway, so I don't know if you guys will talk about any of that.
I'll talk to Jeff Belanger as our guest next, and
right.
he did a whole extensive deal and talked to a lot of ex-employees and current employees of the White House, so we'll ask him if he has any stories about that as well.
Yeah, well, DC, the cat.
Very cool. All right. Next.
This is strange here, this story. And honestly, a lot of stuff this week was just about death. I don't know why, but I have a lot of, little stories about death, so hopefully it's not too morbid for anybody. But anyway, an Evanston, Illinois woman who is 90 years old has apparently been living in a house with the bodies of 3 siblings, one of whom may have been dead since the early 80s.
Oh, my.
And the bodies were found by police on Friday of last week, and the woman was taken to the hospital, I guess, for observation, and they're trying to figure out what the cause of death was for all 3 of her siblings, which, I mean, they don't think it was foul play or anything, but what's even weirder to me is that, one of the siblings just passed away in May, and the other one was in, 2003. So, I mean, they were all living with the dead siblings. She was just the only one left, you know what I mean?
I wonder if she was doing it that way she could keep surfing on their Social Security checks.
You think?
Oh, it might be, yeah. It might have been the way she was able to survive it, and I don't know that it was sinister, but yeah, it just might have been unfortunate that, they passed away, and she, it was the only way to keep the money in. Of course, I guess at the age of 90, it's not like you can haul dad or brother out into the yard and dig a pit for him.
Right.
So.
But how creepy. I mean, it's pretty creepy. The early 80s, I mean, that's a long time.
Well, maybe they had it coming. Maybe they were wearing a high-top fade or a Billy Ray Cyrus mullet, and that could have been.
Well, definitely they deserve it then.
Good God. Definitely they deserve it. Sorry, Billy Ray Cyrus. Don't get mad at us. You and your all-powerful Hannah Montana daughter. All right, where are we off to next?
This is in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania.
Okay.
This guy, a hunter, he was out to photograph deer last month, and he snapped a photo that people think might be like a miniature Sasquatch. And
a mini Bigfoot?
Yeah.
Is that like a jumbo shrimp?
He took the photo in the Allegheny National Forest, about 115 miles north of Pittsburgh, hoping to just, get a picture of some deer. But it looks like some kind of a primate. I'm going to send you the link right after I get off the phone with you, so maybe we could put it up, at some point. There's a link where you can go kind of see the pictures, and you can click on it, and it'll show you pictures of, some bear in contrast, just because it looks nothing like a bear. But the guy that took the picture actually contacted the Bigfoot Field Researchers Organization, and a guy from the group said, what I said, it appears to be a primate-like animal, and in his opinion, it appears to be a juvenile Sasquatch. But the Pennsylvania Game Commission has a more rational opinion, and he says that, they trap bears up there all the time, and he thinks that it's probably a bear with a really bad case of mange. But it is weird. I mean, it looks like some kind of an ape. It's kind of a shot from behind, but... So I'll try to send you that link. Maybe.
I would love to get that up, and I'll have Mike or Delia put that up on your site. And again, if you want to follow up on any of the news stories that you hear, if we have video or photographs, you can always go to darknessradio.com, click on the news desk. There you'll find links to some of the stories that include videos or photographs. Like yesterday, I don't know, Bree, if you were listening, but Adrian reported on this aquarium in Europe where a lady took a picture inside the aquarium. She was in one of those tubes. Mm-hmm. And a ghost face is in the aquarium itself. and like by the coral, and I thought it was going to be matrixing. Man, I've looked at it. We have the picture up on our site. It's creepy. And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you were listening last night, go check out our website at darknessradio.com. Click on the news desk and check out by Adrian the news story there with the ghost face. And according to the authorities, there was no person in the tube or in the tunnel at that time. This lady was alone. So interesting stuff.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll get that story up that you just mentioned. Where are we off to next?
Well, I was going to mention that the LaLaurie house, which we spoke about maybe 2 months ago, that Nicolas Cage owns,
right,
is up for sale.
Really?
And, yeah, I mean, you know, he owns a house, but he doesn't even live in it. He and his family live next door. And he's put the home on the market for $3.9 million.
Is that all? I say you, me, Tim, Susan, Adrian, and Bill Murphy all go in on this, and we buy it, and we make it the Darkness Radio retirement home.
I'm up for it.
We could hang it. What do you think, Tim?
I like it. I need a place to retire.
Yes, exactly. We can fall asleep to the sounds of people being beaten and hung in the basement. That'd be great.
Like I don't already.
Exactly.
Well, actually, on that note, Nicolas Cage, there was an article and actually a show this week called Celebrity Ghost Stories. Did you guys see that? It was on.
Yeah, I did actually. I watched it a couple weeks ago. Was it the one with Sammy Hagar?
Yes.
Right, Sammy Hagar, Belinda Carlisle, Eddie. Oh gosh, what's his name? The African American member of the Ghostbusters.
Oh yeah.
Ernie Hudson.
Ernie Hudson, yeah. Ernie Hudson, and who was the other person? There was a fourth one, and I can't remember.
Well, I've got a couple of their stories.
Yeah, go ahead and give us a little bit of the story, sure.
All right. Well, Nicolas Cage, actually, that's where I started this. He has had more paranormal experience than, you know, what he's said he's had at the LaLaurie house, but he actually refuses to sleep over at his uncle's house, Francis Ford Coppola, and I guess he claims that he spotted a ghost in the attic, and he admits that he was terrified by the ghost, which he initially, I guess, mistook for a relative, and he said that he was living in the attic, and there were bats between the walls that you could hear scratching, and one night when he wasn't quite asleep, the door in front of his bed opened, and there was a pitch-black silhouette of a woman with big hair, and he thought it was his aunt coming to say goodnight. So he said goodnight, and it didn't say anything. Then it moved towards him, and he screamed and threw his pillow at it, and it disappeared. But that was his story. But it's just funny. I've heard a few stories that he's come out and said.
Right.
He might be really into the paranormal stuff.
Oh, we'll have to try to put in a call, and I don't know. I just can't take the way he talks. I really would have a hard time interviewing Nicolas Cage. He's too intense.
Why couldn't he disappear when he
Exactly. You know what? I don't know what's more frightening, the story you just told, Nicholas, or the fact that you have a career. Let's take a quick break here. We'll be back with more national news with national news correspondent Bree Sanders. It's one of those meltdown nights. You're listening to the best in paranormal talk radio right here on your home for all things good. Oh, yeah, this is it. I like me a little big log.
Pardon me?
I guess that didn't come out exactly right, did it?
No, not really.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the best in paranormal talk radio. I'm your host, Dave Schrader, sitting across the board, Mr. Tim Dennis, and joining us all the way from the state of Missouri, we have Bree Sanders on the line, our national news correspondent. Bree, where are we off to next in the United States?
Well, I wanted to talk about this article that talks about, it's kind of like new things. It's called Two Cool Ways to Celebrate Death. I'll just tell you its title.
Cool ways to celebrate death?
Yes.
Yay, death.
Right, yay.
Okay.
All right, well, anyway, this is, ideas for people who want something special to commemorate the passing of a loved one. There are new options being made available as to what to do with the remains. And the first option is from a company called Life Gem. And It promises to take your loved one's ashes, which are primarily carbon at that point, and they form them into a diamond. And the man-made diamond it's a real diamond, and it sparkles, and it's very durable, and it's expensive, but I guess they can make like a 1-carat diamond out of it for about $20,000.
Wow.
So it's crazy, but that's kind of cool, in a weird kind of creepy way.
Well, it's really interesting, and I mentioned this a few weeks ago. One of the first ghost stories I heard that really kind of piqued my interest in that, my mom's sister and my dad's brother and sister-in-law saw this. My uncle is an insurance agent in Illinois, Bob Lojewski, and he shared an office space with a guy by the name of Jim DiRienza. And when Jim first married his wife, he was struggling, and he bought her a small little ring. Well, for like their 25th wedding anniversary, he bought her this big honkin' diamond. So my uncle, being his insurance guy, said, let's get some photographs of this diamond. Let's, get it insured properly. Every time they took a Polaroid shot of this, you could see the ghost image of his mother appear in the ring. Reflected back was her face smiling at you. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's really cool. But you just think about, how many people end up with haunted pieces of jewelry. Mm-hmm. And if you've had your body, your grandpa's body compressed into a diamond ring you're now wearing, and that's going to go to somebody else, I would say that's going to open up a whole new can of weird paranormal activity around people. All right. So that's one way to celebrate death. Have your loved one pressed into a diamond to wear around your ring.
Right.
All right. What else is another good way?
Well, the second one is...
Have them stuffed like a piñata full of candy so the kids can beat them with a stick on the holidays, or what?
Right. Taxidermy's making a comeback. This one, I've kind of heard about this, the memorial space flights. And it's a service that will rocket your loved ones into space. And it was the company responsible, I guess they launched the remains of James Doohan, the Scotty of Star Trek.
Right.
Into space. They actually did it. So in 2009, they're actually going to begin to offer burials on the moon.
Burials on the moon?
Burials on the moon. That's what they're saying.
How are... Okay.
I don't know.
Are they just going to... Are they gonna actually just going to send some guy up there to dig a spot and stick keep the casket keeps floating away? Good bless you, I can't keep this thing going. How do you refill the hole, Tim, with lighter than... the dirt will just keep floating away from you, too. That guy's going to have the suckiest job on the planet, literally.
Better start buying all
It'll be the only
spare
job on
anvils
that planet, but yeah.
Buying the spare anvils from Wile E. Coyote.
Exactly.
That's how it's going to do it.
Oh, my God. All right. Yeah, I know James Doohan was shot up in space. I think somebody else was, too. Some other big time. You remember hearing this story a couple of years ago? I can't remember who it was.
Was it Isaac Asimov?
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, his remains were shot up into space, too.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I've heard of it, but, I didn't think they'd actually do it. So, anyway, they have one more way they actually mention is there's a company called Eternal Reefs, and it offers to incorporate the ashes of the deceased into cast cement reef balls, which are sunk into the ocean to form the anchors for new or rejuvenating reef growth.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, during the casting, their families can put their handprints on it or write things on it, like write their farewells. And a bronze plaque labels each one, and the family receives certificates acknowledging it and actually gets the GPS coordinates of where they are. So it's crazy.
That is, there's also, you guys can Google this. It's called like, and it's so disgusting. I stumbled upon it once, and maybe I shouldn't even mention it, but it's just so weird. It's like you can actually watch. They've put a video camera in this person's coffin, and it's like decomposition cam or something crazy like that, where you can actually watch this person decompose.
Ugh.
That's their whole deal, is they set this video camera up there. And then we just had, I think it was Adrian was saying over in China, they're actually putting phones that are run by solar cells into the caskets. So if you are to wake up in there, you can make a call to get out. So you can have communication. Yeah, you can have communication with the dead that way, too.
Wow.
Yeah, those phone bills have got to suck, huh?
Speaking of that stuff, not to be gross, the decomposition, all that stuff, they're doing this, they're trying to do green cemeteries now. Everything's going green.
Right.
And it's kind of.
Wouldn't the best thing to be then you just put the body in the ground and let it decompose and fertilize? No coffin?
They're trying to do it where there's no coffins, there's no crypts. It takes up a lot of room.
Right.
But and they actually don't allow embalming because all the toxins, they think it, creeps into the earth and ruins the earth. But I guess I've
been embalming myself from the inside out since I was about 4. With all the Twinkies and hot dogs and nitrates I've been eating in my life, this body's going to be long time.
You'll be preserved for hundreds of years.
Exactly.
They avoid, like, the groundskeeping. They don't put fertilizers and all that stuff. It's weird, but maybe they don't need to.
No, you're the natural fertilizer.
Right.
Which would prove it, right? Because you know how many times people have told me I'm full of crap, and now it'd actually be true. I'd be the fertilizer for their garden. Tim, when I die, I want to fertilize your garden, my friend.
Wow, that's hot.
I know.
Yeah.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. Where are we off to next, Bree?
We are going to Disneyland.
Yay!
I know, I wish. This was just an interesting little article. I guess legend has it that if a guest dies on the grounds of any Disney-owned theme park, the body must be removed from Disney property before the guest is pronounced dead.
Right. That's one of the rumors, yeah?
Yeah, that way Disney officials can claim no one has ever died at one of their parks. But I guess, the truth is, even though the deaths are rare, they do happen. In 2003, the New York Times reported that a man died at the scene from being, I guess he got hit with something on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad. And I guess it derailed, actually, is what happened. But it's crazy. I mean, it happens. They say, a lot of nights, like grad nights, when the parks are open to graduating high school students, and, they get crazy. They climb onto, like, the monorail track, jump between the cars on this little people mover thing, and
what kind of moron thrill seeker goes to Disneyland? Woo! I'm drunk. I'm on Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. Woo!
Well, there was an accident too in 1998 when a cleat, like this metal cleat, broke loose from this ride called Sailing Ship Columbia, and it hurled into a crowd of park visitors and injured a bunch of people and killed one. So that incident actually brought to light this, rumor, like we said, that at the time their policy required that employees first notify Disney's communications center in an emergency instead of dialing 911 right away.
So they could drag the body out across the street and then go, okay, now you can die? That's giving.
I mean, that's pretty crazy.
Well, it's a magical place on Earth,
Just hang on a second.
Well, we got about a minute left. Do you have another short one for us here?
Ooh, a short one. I'll mention this, actually, since you guys were just talking about your business idea. Okay, you and Susan were talking about. This is true. If you're trying to sell your house, you need to disclose any strange occurrences that have happened there that might make somebody believe that it's haunted. And if you don't, you'd be slapped with a huge lawsuit. And in California, they say that you do not have to disclose a death that occurred there more than 3 years before the sale. And I guess there's this guy named Randall Bell who consulted on, the Heaven's Gate murders in San Diego,
right,
which was the biggest mass suicide ever, The property, your property value gets destroyed. A developer bought that property 2 years after the event for about $668,000, which is less than half of the property value. But this happens all the time. A couple recently purchased an 18-room Victorian mansion on the Hudson River in New York, and the previous owner actually had advertised the house as being haunted with, poltergeist and all kinds of stuff, and the people didn't read about it. It was in Reader's Digest and everything.
Well, you'd think that would help the resale value in today's market, at least.
Maybe for some, yeah.
Well, Bree, thanks a lot for spending time with us. We'll talk to you again next Sunday. You be safe, and thanks again for delivering us the news.
Thanks. See you next week.
Thank you. And you guys stay tuned. We're going to be back with author Jeff Belanger, and he's going to be talking to us about The Ghosts of the White House, a brand new book that he has coming out, or is out, I should say, right now. And then in the 11 o'clock hour, we're going to be joined by Ryan Buell, Chip Coffey, and Michelle Belanger talking about episodes of Paranormal State. We'll be back with more. You're listening to Darkness Radio right here on your home for Paranormal Talk Radio every Saturday and Sunday night, 9 to midnight,